Imagine, for a moment, a portal opening, not in a blockbuster movie, not in a sci-fi novel, but in someone's backyard. A vortex to another time, another dimension, built from scrap metal and sheer audacity. Tonight, we delve into a case so bizarre, so unbelievable, it sounds like pure fiction, yet the man at its center swore it was real. He claimed he was building a time machine, and then things got very, very strange. This is the story of Mike "Madman" Marcum, a 21-year-old with a wild ambition, a backyard full of salvaged parts, and a theory that pushed the boundaries of sanity, or perhaps reality. He wasn't a renowned scientist, nor did he have a university laboratory. His workspace was humble, his methods unorthodox, but his conviction was absolute. Whispers spread. Some dismissed him as eccentric, others feared what he was truly creating behind those closed doors. Did he succeed? Did he fail spectacularly? Or did he somehow vanish through time itself? The questions surrounding Mike Marcum's disappearance are as electrifying and puzzling as the experiments he conducted. This isn't just a story. It's an enigma wrapped in an electrical storm. You decide. Chapter 1. The Eccentric Inventor and His Workshop of Wonders. Our story begins in the unassuming landscape of Missouri in the early 1990s. Here we find Mike Marcum, a young man who was, to put it mildly, an enigma. While others were pursuing typical jobs or hobbies, Mike had a singular, all-consuming obsession: time travel. His lab, a backyard shed overflowing with scavenged electronics, car parts, discarded appliances, anything he could get his hands on that he believed held the key to unlocking the fabric of time. He was self-taught, driven by a voracious appetite for theoretical physics and quantum mechanics, devouring books and obscure scientific papers. He spoke openly, almost boastfully, about his project to anyone who would listen, detailing complex theories about temporal displacement and wormholes. Mike believed in it with a fertile intensity that bordered on delusion for many. He was driven by a single, audacious goal: to build a working time machine. His theoretical centerpiece? A Jacob's ladder, a device normally used for atmospheric experiments, known for its mesmerizing, arcing electrical discharges, creating a visible electrical current. Mike believed this, combined with high voltage and rapidly rotating magnetic fields generated by recycled motor parts, could create a temporal displacement field, a bubble of altered time. He spent countless hours, day and night, soldering, wiring, and tinkering, often emerging from his shed covered in grease and humming with a strange energy. Neighbors and friends recall the strange lights shining from his shed, the persistent hum of high-voltage electricity, and the occasional, unexplained power outages that seemed to coincide with Mike's late-night experiments. He wasn't just talking about it, he was actively, constantly working on it, his determination unwavering despite the lack of conventional scientific backing. This wasn't just a quirky hobby. This was a man convinced he was on the end of a monumental scientific breakthrough, a hidden genius on the cusp of rewriting history. He documented his progress in notebooks, filled with intricate diagrams and complex equations, believing he was charting a new frontier. But was he a genius, or genuinely mad? The line in Mike Marcum's world was becoming increasingly blurred. Chapter 2. The Experiments and the Escalation. Mike's experiments weren't quiet. They were loud, they were bright, and they were, at times, dangerously unpredictable. reports emerged of Mike's increasingly reckless attempts, pushing his makeshift equipment to its absolute limits, often with sparks flying and circuit breakers tripping. He wasn't just building, he was testing with small objects at first, then seemingly moved on to more ambitious endeavors. And these tests had very real, very alarming consequences, drawing unwanted attention from those outside his immediate circle. There are accounts of small household objects disappearing from tables near the shed and reappearing moments later. For a brief time, disoriented intervals. One alleged incident, widely circulated amongst those aware of this project, involved a heavy wrench reportedly vanishing from a workbench and then rematerializing about a minute later, seemingly untouched but with a strange, almost ethereal glow or a faint warmth. Mike himself claimed to have sent a small metal object, like a coin or a bolt, forward in time for a few minutes, retrieving it later from precisely where he had placed it, but seemingly older or slightly altered. He said he was experiencing strange headaches, a ringing in his ears, and periods of disorientation after these tests, describing them as minor, tolerable side effects of interacting with raw temporal energy. But the local authorities weren't concerned with theoretical physics or temporal displacement. They were concerned with public safety, noise complaints, and the drain on the local power grid. The sheer amount of electricity Mike was drawing, the unexplained power surges that affected his neighbors' appliances, and the potential fire hazards posed by his homemade setup led to multiple complaints to the police. Police were called on several occasions, responding to reports of bright flashes, loud hums, and even minor explosions from the shed. Mike was warned, cited for various code violations, and even fined. His equipment was even confiscated more than once, only for him to acquire new parts and continue his testing. He was determined. Each setback only fueled his conviction that he was on the right path, that the authorities simply didn't understand his groundbreaking work. He believed he was close. He spoke of seeing shimmering distortions in the air directly around his device, of feeling a pull or a vibration from his machine, as if it was resonating with another dimension. The line between scientific pursuit and dangerous obsession blurred with every spark and every power surge. Mike was pushing the limits, ignoring the warnings, driven by an unshakable belief that he was on the verge of the impossible. And then, after a final, desperate series of experiments, the story takes an even more unsettling turn. The lights went out, not just on his machine, but on Mike Marcum himself. Chapter 3: The Vanishing and the Aftermath. The exact timeline of Mike Marcum's final, most ambitious experiment is shrouded in speculation and conflicting accounts, pieced together from fragmented reports and hearsay. But one thing is chillingly clear. After a particular intense period of work, marked by an unprecedented surge in electrical activity from his shed, Mike Marcum seemed to vanish without a trace. Some accounts from neighbors suggested a final, catastrophic power surge that wasn't just a flicker, but a blinding flash of light, an almost deafening hum that momentarily engulfed his shed before plunging the entire immediate area into an unsettling darkness. Others speak of a more gradual, quiet, and eerie stillness that settled over the backyard where once there was a constant buzzing, arcing, and the unmistakable sounds of Mike's frantic work. His family and friends, growing concerned after not hearing from him from an unusual length of time, reported him missing to the local police department. Initial searches yielded absolutely nothing. No body, no suicide note, no indication of traditional foul play, no signs of forced entry or struggle anywhere near the shed or his home. The police, having dealt with Mike's eccentricities and previous run-ins regarding his time machine before, initially treated it as another one of his stunts, or perhaps a simple, voluntary disappearance of a troubled individual seeking to escape his strange life. But as days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months, the complete lack of any conventional explanation for his absence became increasingly chilling and deeply perplexing to investigators. His belongings were still in his home. His car was parked outside. There was no indication he had planned to leave, only that he had been consumed by his work. Was he simply a man whose delusions finally pushed him to abandon his life? Perhaps suffering from a breakdown related to his extreme stress and lack of sleep? Or did he perhaps meet with a tragic accident, a fatal electrical shock that vaporized his body, leaving no trace? To this day, there is no definite explanation for Mike Marcum's disappearance. No concrete evidence of his success, but also no clear, conventional resolution to his mysterious fate. The case of Mike Madman Marcum remains one of the strangest footnotes in the world of alleged scientific anomalies, whispered about in online forums and debated amongst conspiracy theorists. It's a story that challenges the very boundaries of what we believe in to be possible, a tale that blurs the lines between science fiction and inexplicable reality. Did Mike Marcum simply disappear due to mundane circumstances? Perhaps an unreported accident or a deliberate decision to start a new life? Or did he achieve the impossible, becoming the first accidental time traveler, forever lost in the echoes of his own backyard creation? A ghost of history. We may never truly know the answer to what happened that fateful day, but the story of the man who built a time machine in his shed serves as a potent reminder. Sometimes, the most unbelievable truths are stranger than any fiction. His legacy is not one of the confirmed scientific breakthrough, but of an enduring, perplexing enigma. What do you think happened to Mike Marcum? Was he a madman, a genius, or a casualty of a phenomenon we simply don't understand? Let us know your theories in the comments below. If you're drawn to stories of the unexplained, the missing, and the mysteries that defy conventional logic, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the unknown. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next chilling case. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and remember, not everything has an easy answer. The fabric of time, it seems, can be a fragile thing.